Hello, this is Anna Laparashi, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Spi-Sci, the channel where science meets spirituality. With the government ready to declassify the WAP and the UFO files, the question can be whether this is going to happen, how it's going to happen. Is it going to happen in a positive way where maybe these WAPs and UFOs are going to be seen as possible help for humanity, or are these going to be seen in more in a negative way as a threat? Or we can imagine also a response from the religious community as, hey, these are demons. So these can be interesting questions and observations to see when and how and if this declassification is going to happen, even if it's going to happen partially, totally, and so on. Another interesting question is ufology a science? That can be quite a challenge to understand because we need to understand what first is a science. Otherwise, anything can be a science in the end. And many things can be a science if we look into it. So I'm going to get it from the dictionary, the definition of science. According to the dictionary, science is the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence obtained. So we're talking about the scientific method here. We need the different criteria, the different steps in the scientific method in order to have a science. So, according to my research, I've studied this phenomena off on and off for about 15 years. And although I might not have the expertise as an official ufologist, from my belief, I can say for me that ufology is a science. And whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. Do your conclusion after you do the all the research necessary. So, considering this, I read different articles, books. I went to different conferences, and met and spoke with different ufologists. And there's this one book that I have not read, and that's my bad. And it's this from this Italian author ufologist called Roberto Pinotti. This book is not present, unfortunately, in English, but the title is Aliens, an Encounter Announced. Funny thing about this book is that I bought it 15 years ago. 15 years ago when I used to live in Florence, Italy. And among all the books, I thought to bring this with me because I said sooner or later I'm going to read it. So what better time than now that we have the declassification of these documents, what better time than to read now this book? Once I'm finished reading, I can, if you guys want, I can share some information with you. But in the back of the book, there's a brief description of what it contains. And what it contains can be interesting for the declassification and possible consequences that are going to happen about it. So let me translate uh, for you the back of this book that's in Italian. Things around us hide a reality more profound where space and time, the habitual space and time, um, lose their habitual sense of how we know them. We are not alone in the universe. For um, for let's see, for centuries, actually, millennial, our so-called neighbors, aliens, have been manifesting on Earth. The history of the human history is indeed full of testimonials of these encounters, more or less close encounters. from the Bible to the Latin pages of the historic Giulio Sequenze, from astronomical observations conducted since the 600s in onwards, to the top secret relations of the Pentagon and KGB, to articles, unknown articles of the uncomfortable Mino Pecorelli. Reality or imagination? Is it really possible that Earth has been receiving visits from external spaces outside of the solar system? Facts and documents gathered in these last 10 years by Roberto Pinotti seems to not leave any doubts. Quoting episodes and data, the note aerospatial researcher proposed in these pages a wide reading of human history away from skepticisms, offers finally a convincing hypothesis of the explanation of all those phenomena that seem um, to run away from the uh, current scientific understanding. Religions, mythologies, legends, and traditions become, in this way, the rationalization of interventions in human life completed by these so-called unknown superiors coming from space. Those same superiors that, respectful of our limits, are waiting for our available responsibility to such a epical event, ready more than ever to an announce to a long announced encounter. So, are we in that period of time where this encounter can happen? In the UFO community, there, if you know, if you are familiar with the UFO community and their belief systems, whether you believe or not, you should know that there is this concept of disclosure. There's this hope that there is going to be an official announcement by the government, or an acknowledgement, collective acknowledgement by humanity of an encounter uh, of maybe the fifth kind, we could say. Now, what comes in my mind is now the upcoming movie, also by Steven Spielberg, Disclosure. So that's going to appear in the movie theaters in mid 2026. So all these factors don't seem like a coincidence to me. And about 15 years ago, I would have said no. I would have said, I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime. It's going to happen, but maybe later than sooner. Now I can say that it might actually happen sooner than later. So let me know. What do you think about this disclosure event? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think it's just fluff, a waste of time, a waste of maybe our own tax money? Let me know. I'm curious. Thank you, and see you next time.